In this video, I'm going to share with you the trading setup that I use to trade Forex, including the equipment that I use, how I set up my screens, and what I use them for, so stick around. Hi everybody, it's Emily from the channel Mindfully Trading, where I share videos relating to trading tips as well as my personal trading journey. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the setup that I use to trade Forex. Now, I have done a previous video where I've shared my sort of traveling trading station, and I'll include a little link to that above. And that includes a lot of the different specs and kind of like how I set up the setup that you can see behind me. But as you can see, I've got a main laptop screen here and also the two screens that are mounted to the wall. And in a moment, I'm going to jump on the computer to just sort of show you a breakdown of how I set them up, how I connect them together in the display settings. So if you've just bought some screens and you're not sure how to actually connect them to the laptop so you can move around and use the full 3-screen station, that's what we're going to explore in this video. But before I do that, let's just explore the equipment a little bit further. So for my laptop, I went with the Dell Intel Core 7th generation. I find it to be very good, very high powered and quick and efficient, which is what you need for trading. Got a link here. It's not the exact model of what my laptop is, but it is a really good Dell model if you're interested in looking at that. The two screens on either side are ASUS screens. As you can see, they connect directly into the laptop via the USB cable, and they are completely powered from the laptop, so the screens don't require any batteries. They don't need to be plugged into a 240 volt power. And they work brilliantly. I find that they're big enough for what I need. They have a very good display, so you can easily see your charts on there. And again, I've got a link here to the ASUS portable monitor. This is actually a newer model on Amazon at the moment, which you can get, but it's the same concept. The portable screen, it's a USB connector into your laptop or your computer. And as I said before, I do use a wall mount. It's a dual monitor wall mount. It actually was quite tricky to find this one because I brought this originally for my camper van. I wanted to be able to mount it directly onto the wall. So I've got a link below, which is sort of a desk mount if you prefer to have it mounted to the desk for your dual monitors. But as you can see behind, it's a wall mount, and then I actually brought the adapter for the screen separately. So these are simply the arms that the screens slide into. And once again, that's because I've got a little bit of Velcro tucked underneath the clamps of the screen to hold them in place, because it was designed for a camper van originally. But they work really well. It means I can slide the screens in and out because I didn't want to have to screw through the screen, because obviously that would destroy the screen. So I brought these little clamps for the screen, and the clamps have screwed onto the wall mount, and then the wall mount is obviously screwed onto the wall. But you can purchase a desk mount if you prefer, which screws onto your desk. There's a few different options really, depending on what it is that you want to do and what you want to screw into and what you don't want to screw into. But it works really well, being able to have your monitors kind of above the screen. It leaves your desk clear, and it just helps you to manage all of the applications that you need to be able to trade. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've just unplugged both of my screens. That's why they're both black at the moment, because they're not plugged into the laptop, which is the main power source for the screens, as I said before. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug the USB cables into the laptop, which will activate the screens. And then I'm going to go into my display settings on the laptop and just share with you exactly how you set them up. So if you are new to syncing up the screens with the laptop or your computer at home, if you just received them, just to help give you an idea of how you can extend the laptop so you can move between the different windows, okay? So let's plug this one on the right in first. And I'm going to plug in the other one as well at the same time, because we want them all connected before we go into settings. And that'll just take a few seconds for them to just load up now. And here we go, here's our screens. So first things first, however you access settings from your laptop, so every kind of software is different, every operating software. I'm on Windows, so all I'm going to do is at the bottom here, I'm going to click on my search icon, and I'm simply going to type in display settings. And once that comes up in the menu, just open up your display settings. That should bring up a window just here. Now yours may look different because mine, I've obviously connected them up before, and the laptop does remember that and recognise that in the settings. But just to go through that with you, it'll load up this little window, which is display settings. And generally the bigger screen, which will represent your laptop or your computer, that should be in the middle, and that should be screen number 1. As you scroll down, I'll just make this window a little bit bigger. So as you've highlighted number 1, that will be your main laptop. And the other screens on either side, that's how they should look. Now, the reason they're a little bit smaller than the main screen is because it's down to the resolution. Again, it may be different depending on the type of software and technology your laptop or your computer is. But for me, the plug-in screens are both a lower resolution than my laptop. Now, I can adjust this, which would make them the same size, but I'd need to lower the resolution on my laptop, and I don't particularly want to do that because I want to have a higher quality resolution. But all that means is at this bottom area, the bottom right and the bottom left hand side of number 1 screen means that won't extend. So if I take my mouse to this bottom corner and go across, I can't get to that screen because it technically doesn't exist. Whereas if I go from the middle and go across, you can see that even though I'm in the middle of my main laptop, my cursor is in the middle section, as I go across to the right, it actually appears lower down in the screen here, because technically this screen is smaller than my laptop screen. So I hope that makes sense. Just drop me a comment if you're not too sure what I'm saying there. But just to give you an idea, if you're plugging them in, if you're trying to move across from the bottom and you're not getting anything, that might be what it is. It might be down to resolution. So that's that. So this is basically it. You can move these around. So if you load up yours and you've got both screens like that on the side, and obviously that's not correct because that means that you can't get anywhere from this left because they're down here. So all you need to do is just move them around, align them at the top. You might prefer to align them in the middle. It's quite flexible. You just simply move around these 2 windows here how you want them to appear on your main laptop or computer. Now, highlighting number 1, as we scroll down, we can see a few more bits of information here. So again, this is where it talks about display resolution. So you can alter that if you would prefer to have a lower resolution on your main laptop, but have all of your screens the same size. You can alter that from this settings. And it also gives you this option here. So underneath multiple displays, if you click on this drop down arrow, at the moment I've got mine to extend desktop to this display. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to extend my main laptop or computer so that I can simply move around to my screens, the laptop acting as my central screen here. But you can also duplicate this. But all that means, as you can see there, is that you can't actually do anything on there. It's just a copy of this main screen. So that could be used, I suppose, if you are having a screen set up for a presentation and you're operating from your main laptop. But obviously that's not what we're doing here with trading. So I'm going to change that back to extend desktop to this display. And that just enables me to move around quite comfortably, ready for trading. Right, so once you've got your settings, your display settings all set up correctly the way that you want them, I'm going to just share with you how I actually set up my screens ready for Forex trading. So I use, as you probably saw before, I use my main laptop, or in this case a computer, for the central setup where I operate my broker from. And on the 2 screens that are connected by USB, I use them to run my charting software. So I'm going to load them up now, just share with you how I do that. So the broker that I use is Oanda, and I have a very easy desktop application here to load that up. So it uses the MetaTrader 4 platform, but as I said, my actual broker is Oanda. MetaTrader 4 is a brilliant platform. It covers access for a lot of different brokers, so more likely than not, if you're not with Oanda, you probably can get your broker on MetaTrader 4. Check that out. But it just offers very good software for trade management and trade execution, and that's what I have up here. And then in the morning, I'll just simply load up a new screen just to share with you. But I'll load up a web page, and I have a bookmark for all of my trading resources. So I might load up my position size calculator, because that's quite important. I use that every morning to calculate what lot size or position size I'm going to use for trading. So I'll load that up, but I don't want that on the main screen because the main screen is purely for my broker. So all I do, once I've loaded that up, is I click on the tab in the top left hand corner and click and hold it, and I just simply drag that across to the left, let go, and then it automatically pops up on my other screen ready as a reference for when I want to use that. So that's that loaded up ready. And then back to my main laptop, and I'm going to load up another web browser. It has loaded up on this screen, but I'm going to drag that back across just for the ease of being able to use it on the middle screen. And for that, I just load up my charting platform, which is TradingView. Absolutely love TradingView. If you've not used them before, I'll include a link above where I give a little tutorial, but they are excellent, they're affordable, and they provide really good quality tools for drawing and technical analysis. So that's TradingView. And I'll just load up an example chart as well. So I'll just load up Euro USD. And once that's loaded up there, simply once again click on the tab and hold it and drag it, and this time I'm going to move that across to the right. So I've got a chart here. I can open a new tab on this screen. I can load up my other chart in. I basically just load up loads of different tabs with different currency pairs on there, so that everything is there, and all I have to do is click and navigate to which one I want to look at, because it just makes it a lot quicker, and I don't want to waste time trying to find currency pairs and load up applications once the breakouts happen, because I want to be focused on trading itself, not loading up pages. So again, I've just loaded one up here, but I'm going to click on that tab, I'm going to pull it across, and I'm going to drag it across here, and I'm going to continue on across here, and I'm going to hover over this top bar, and then it'll pop up next to my position size calculator. And on there, I'm going to load up the pound yen, just for an example for you guys. And as you can see, it's very, very simple to use. It's starting to take a nice pattern here. So just to reiterate, that is my broker in the middle, and I've got my charting platforms on either side. I do also, I mainly use my left hand side, as you can tell, for my position size calculator, and I also load up FX Factory for Forex news as well, just to keep an eye on any kind of headlines or anything to be aware of, so that I can either avoid or look at a certain currency to trade. And once you are finished trading and you want to put them away, it's so easy to do. If you've got any tabs open, so this one on the right hand side here, I've got a charting platform open, I can simply unplug the USB cable, and that will turn off that screen because it is powered from the laptop. You don't need to save anything, you don't need to do anything, you can just unplug the screen, and the charting platform that I had on that screen will automatically move to one of the other screens. So if I look down here, I can find that Euro USD has just become minimized since I unplugged that screen, and it's now on this other screen. And from there, you know, so if you unplug a screen but you haven't actually saved your chart, the chances are it will be on another screen. You can find it and you can then save it and close that if you want to do it that way. Something to be aware of, and what I've just done, is once you do close or unplug a screen, but if you've got another one on, so in this instance I've turned off my right hand screen but I still have my left hand screen on. When I try to navigate to the left from my main laptop with my cursor, it's not actually going anywhere, and that's because the display settings we were in before act differently when there is just one screen plugged in. So in my case here, I've actually got to go to the right for my cursor to then appear to the screen on my left, which is a little bit confusing. If you just want to use one screen, you can go back into the display settings and you can just change those around. I could do that now just to show you an example. So I'll load back up the display settings, and as you can see, I've unplugged my third screen, so my laptop has kind of intuitively rejiggled around that, and all I can do if I want to is click on 2, and I'm going to drag that to the left, and I'm going to click apply. And now if I move my cursor to the left, I can access my left hand screen. So it's really so easy to use and move around from this main display settings. But now I'm finished with this screen, so I'm going to just close that window. I don't need to save that. I'll minimize that one because I want to keep that, and simply unplug that screen. And here we are, we have just the main laptop. And I'm just going to wrap these up because I do quite like to keep it tidy. So these wrap up, and there's a little hook. I'll just show you. I don't know if you can quite see, but there is a little hook on my wall mount right here where I can hook over my cable, and then it's all nice and tidy out the way. And I'm going to do the same on this side as well. So I'll wrap them up and hook my cables out the way, so we have a nice tidy table. So I hope you've enjoyed that video sharing my Forex trading setup. Any questions, any comments, leave them below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button because it really helps me to grow my channel, and these videos do take time, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.